Hello, and if you're following the sequence of events, this is another one of my videos for Marillion Week to celebrate the release of Sounds That Can't Be Made, and this is something I've been threatening for a long time. Yes, it's the Marillion Primer. There will be some edits because I've got a lot of ground to cover, so wish me luck. First up, Script for a Jester's Tear. I've already done a prog review of this, and you can watch it by pressing this little finger here, this little digit here. It's kind of an essential listen. You hear where the band came from. Some great tracks on there. Very interesting progressive rock album. This is followed by Fugazi. Fugazi. Yes, it's one of those albums that's, only its mother would love it. It's that ugly. The songs are fair enough, but the production is just not good. But you do get Assassin, Punch and Judy, they're good. Jigsaw. She Chameleon. I mean, all the tracks are pretty good, but I found that the actual the actual production is pretty bad. Very empty production. And Fugazi itself, while it was an interesting idea, needed a bit more shine to it. This was followed by, the now legendary 1985 album Misplaced Childhood, and again, this is another one that you should purchase. You should buy this one. It's kind of essential, and it was a #1 album in the UK. Can you believe it? No, neither can I. It's a concept album. You've got the hit Kaylee, you know the hit, and Lavender. That was a little single as well as was it Heart of Loathing, I think, was released as well. But yeah, my favourite part is Lords of the Backstage. Espresso Bongo, Lords of the Backstage, Blind Curve, and then it disappears up its own fundament with Childhood's End. I think can't stand that song. This is followed by Clutching at Straws 97, and if you want to hear about that one, you can click this little digit here. Oh yes, I've already done a review of that. It's one of my favourite Marillion albums of that period. In some ways I like it over Misplaced Childhood. So there you go. 89, Fish leaves, Hogarth is in with Season's End. Considering it's a new vocalist, I think it's a fairly solid record. And you got opening with King of Sunset Town, which I really like. Easter, which is just sublime. I love it when they play that one live. Uninvited Guest. And, of course, the single Hooks in You. Is it essential? Not really, but if you want to hear how the band coped with their loss of Fish, it's all here. 1991, Holidays in Eden, the difficult second album. Oh yes. I didn't know what to make of it when it came out. There's some of it I like and some of it I don't like. Splinter in Heart's pretty good starter. Cover My Eyes, which is taken from Steve Hogarth's previous band. Is it How We Live? The Party, it's alright. No One Can, bit too saccharine for my liking. Holidays in Eden, Dryland, again, that was another one that was taken from his previous band. Waiting to Happen's pretty good, but what I do like is the last 3 tracks, This Town, The Rake's Progress and 100 Nights, which tells a nice, interesting little story, but it's very subtle. It took me a long time to get it. I don't know. I admire it, but it's not perfect. I really like the artwork though. I think the artwork's pretty cool. 1994, Brave. Again, this is the band doing like a proper concept album. It's the story of a young woman who throws herself off of off of the Severn Bridge or something like that. They've made a very bad film of this, and I'll never get over the scene where there's like a rape scene in it, and the attacker is having his way with the heroine, and then you see Steve Hogarth's face looming to view, gurning at the camera like he's thrusting for all dear, and that image is burned into my retina, and I wouldn't want to be Mrs. Hogarth with that bearing down on you. Like that. Interesting album. Some of it I like, some of it I don't like. I think it's a little bit too long. I think it's over an hour long. I think it could have been cut down a bit. Again, what was the singles? Hard as Love? No. Hollow Man. Alone Again in the Lap of Luxury, I believe. But yeah, kind of like it, kind of don't. And if you had the LP version, there was a double groove, and depending on where the needle hit, the heroine lived or she jumped into the water. But yeah, I know a lot of you like it, and there's nothing wrong with that, but slightly too long. 1995. Now we're talking quality. Afraid of Sunlight. Now this is probably my favourite Marillion album of all time, mainly because the band said that they knocked it out quickly, and there's a certain energy about it, and it deals with the idea of fame and celebrity before the whole fame and celebrity thing became like really big in our culture, before the internet really took hold in that. So it's quite interesting. So you have them talking about you have John Lennon opening the track with his vocals. You have kind of references to O.J. Simpson, Mike Tyson, Raging Bull. You've even got, of course, Donald Campbell's Bluebird on Out of This World. References to Elvis Presley, Kurt Cobain, Michael Jackson. It's all there, and I think it's a really great record. I really like this album, and I say this is the one everyone should hear. There you go. And I must do a proper review of this sometime. This was followed by This Strange Engine. Again, we hit a period when Marillion start doing some really patchy recordings. This is probably for me their last decent album for a while. You got Man of 1,000 Faces, which I really like, 80 Days, Estonia, Accidental Man, and the title track, which is 15 minutes, and I quite like it. It's a good album. Production's a bit strange in places, a bit dull in places, but yeah, it's not too bad. After Afraid of Sunlight, though, it was a pretty hard act to follow. And then we go for a run of really duff records. Radiation, which is their 10th studio album, released in 1998. Starts with a little jangly piece called Costa del Slough, and then Under the Sun, which is quite good. Answering Machine. 3 Minute Boy. These Chains was the single. Cathedral Wall. A few Words for Death. I'm not a big fan of the record. It just doesn't feel particularly right to me, but I'm sure there'll be people out there that like it. 1999 sees Marillion.com, and again another one that kind of left me a bit cold at the time. Deserve, quite like that one. Goes good fun. Tumble Down the Years, quite like that track as well, but the rest of it, yeah. You got the obligatory 15-minute track from Interior Lulu, and a 10-minute one from House, which isn't about you, Laurie, diagnosing people's illnesses. That would be good if it was, wouldn't it? So then we have 2001, Anarachnophobia. And this is when they first started asking us all to pre-order, I believe, and I did actually have I've got my name in that one, I believe. So there you go. Not a bad record, stronger than the previous two. Between You and Me is good fun. Quartz is great fun. I love the analogy of the wind-up watch and the quartz watch. Good fun. Separated Out's all right, but the absolute best track on the record for me is This Is the 21st Century, where the band experiment with beats. You know, it's a very modern sounding song for them, and it's a shame they never really kind of, you know, pursued that avenue, if you will. And if you've got the deluxe edition, there's a CD full of bonus stuff to explore as well. But yeah, I didn't mind that one. It was all right. But then 2004, we hit pay dirt, and if you want to read what am I saying? You don't need to read. You just use your ears and your eyes, or you can just close your eyes and use your ears and listen to my voice. But if you want to listen to that, you can press my nose. Yeah. And that's my review of Marbles. It's a great record. I really love it. I still love it to this day. It's there with Afraid of Sunlight. I just think, you know, they could have just had that out for a long time and not bothered putting out another record for about 5 or 6 years. Such was the strength of material on that record. I think they rushed back to the studio too fast. They should have made it work. And then we hit another couple of Duff recordings. Somewhere Else. I don't think there's anything I like about it, unfortunately. I didn't get it. The only track I like on it is Faith, and that's only because I'd heard that at the Marillion convention in 2003. But I just found it very uninspiring. Let's be honest now, come on. This isn't a good record. Can we all be honest about that? Can we? Good. And this was followed in 2008. Yes, they only waited a year to bring out Happiness Is the Road. Now, Happiness Is the Road, or as I like to call it, Happiness Is a Cigar Called Hamlet Is the Road, is 2 albums. Now, I'm not sure if it's a double album or 2 albums in one. I still can't be sure. But when I downloaded it from eMusic, I guess it was a double album. I didn't get my name in this one. This was another pre-order because I didn't realise things were going on. I got it in Marbles, but not in this one because I was busy doing other things. But oh god, again, this is a horrible record to review. I don't mind Volume 1 Essence. I like the way the tracks seeg into each other. It's a bit wishy-washy in places, but it's nice enough, it doesn't offend me. But when we come to Volume 2, I just find it absolutely awful. I can't get through it. It's probably just me. I probably need another few years for it to take hold. But I quite like Volume 1. If you have to have the choice between 1 and 2, go for Volume 1. There you go. Is Less Is More? Is that? Would you say it's a studio album? Do I need to review that? Okay, I'll review it. It's them doing their unplugged kind of thing. All the songs on it are old songs, stripped back. Great idea. There's nothing not to dislike about it. It's a pretty, interesting album. Again, wouldn't call it essential. It's a bit of a novelty, but it's a good novelty. It's something to, it's something to behold. Especially songs that you know very well. They're completely reworked, so it's not a waste of time. It's not like some of these records where bands re-record songs and they sound just like the original. This is different. Less is more, indeed. And that brings us up to Sounds That Can't Be Made. 2012, the band's 17th studio album. And if you want to know what I think of that, you're going to have to watch the next video. Oh, you see what I did there? I drew you in. Like a spider with a fly. Have you seen my spider and fly video? If you haven't, you can click here. Did I do triangles? Yeah, you'll like that. But yeah, if you want to find out what Sounds That Can't Be Made is like, you're going to have to come back. Oh yeah, come back. And I'll tell you what it's all about. Is it a hit? Is it a miss? You just have to find out. Anyway, that's been Marillion's studio albums. Do you want me to do the live albums? I'll go through them quickly. Reel to Reel, that was an EP originally. It's a very small little record. good fun. You get to hear, you know, early stuff like Assassin and Forgotten Sons and Garden Party's probably. Garden Party and Market Square Heroes is worth it for that. I remember having that. It was on the Music for Pleasure label, EMI, Music for Pleasure. Anyone remember that? Yeah, you remember that? In the old days, Music for Pleasure, you could buy albums for £3.29. Yeah, Queen and Queen 2 were on that label as well, and so was Pink Floyd's Relics. It was a budget label. So yeah, not bad. Thieving Magpie, now there's a dinner. There's a good meal for you. The first, what was it? The CD? I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember how the CD went. No, CD1 was like a pseudo concert with all their kind of greatest hits. CD2, complete performance of Misplaced Childhood, which is pretty cool. Definitely worth checking out. It's also kind of marks Fish's departure from the band, so I've had a good. Made Again, that's got hasn't that got Brave on one side, I believe? Yeah, Brave on disc 2. It kind of follows La Gazaladra, Thieving Magpie. Disc 1's kind of got the hits from that Hogarth period bands. This, I think, was the last one of the last things that EMI put out for them. Yeah, disc 1's got the kind of the hits. So you got, you know, Beautiful, Cover My Eyes, Waiting to Happen, No One Can Easter, Splinter Heart, etc. And then on the second disc you've got Brave live, which again is quite good to listen to if you like live albums. I'm not a big live album fan, but there you go. Anorak in the UK. Yeah, it's all right. Again, it's the problem. It's those albums that I don't like that much. So I was like, oh, it's all right. I've only listened to it a couple of times, so I'm not that interested in it. Sorry. Right. What else can I talk about? Marbles Live. I haven't got that one. Sorry. I haven't got the Early Stages official box set volume 1 either, unfortunately, because again, when it was released, yeah, it'd be 2008. I wasn't paying attention, but from what I've heard, it's got lots of good things in it from the Fish era. My God, they released Live in Lawley and Recital of the Script on CD as well. No, sure, that's got to be DVD. Yeah, I mean, Recital of the Script on DVD is quite interesting because it's the band playing is it the Hammersmith Odeon? And you see old Fish with his face paint on. Live from Lawley is the complete opposite end of it. This is their most excessive stage, and Fish looks like he's been out on a wild shoot and he's wearing a pheasant. Isn't he? He's wearing a pheasant, a fox or something. A fox has fucked a pheasant and crawled onto his shoulder. Or am I remembering it wrong? I don't know. It was a long time ago. But yeah, very entertaining. I'm reading this kind of discography off of the Wikipedia, so that's why it's coming out all a bit wrong. Official box set bootleg volume 2. Yeah, I've got that one. It's quite good fun. I quite like it. Size Matters is quite good as well. Got that off of eMusic. Yeah, so that's it. And then there's a load of compilations as well, but you don't need me to go over those. So I shall give you my recommendations. Albums: Misplaced Childhood, Script for a Jester's Tear, Afraid of Sunlight, Marbles. So I'll give you 2 from each era. I think that's fair enough. And then live albums. Just get Thieving Magpie and Made Again. That should keep you going. Yeah. And if you want a good laugh, get the Singles Collection DVD for some really good fun with the band looking like a load of plonkers in the early days, when I used to make a video for a tenner and try and get good production value out of it. So there you go. My name's been Darren Locke. I've been trying to give you a primer on Marillion. I don't know if this is any good. I don't know if anyone's even listening. Are you watching? Is there anybody out there? Doesn't feel like it. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. tune back in, because we'll have I will finally review music that can't be heard. Is that right? Music that can't be heard? Is that the album? No, sounds that can't be made. I'm just pulling your plonker again, aren't I? But anyway, that's enough of me. It's all about you. Remember that. Only one more thing to say. Prog on.